We couldn't be happier.
One of the greatest fighters ever. I mean, I know you probably get sick of hearing that, but I mean, if you want to really be entertained watching, you make fighting look fun.
It is fun when I'm doing it to my best. It is fun, and I don't get tired of hearing one of the best fighters ever. That's a beautiful thing, and I thank God for blessing me with the abilities that enable people to label me as such a thing. So I
the abilities to beat the shit out of somebody. That's
Teddy tail up.
That is fantastic.
But you make it look like watching you. It's obviously a tremendously difficult sport, but it's like I really wish I could do that because you don't just hit people. You really seem to enjoy taunting the opponent.
Well, see, the reason I started boxing was because I watched Muhammad Ali use his brain and his taunting ability to totally dismantle Joe Frazier. I said, if somebody teach me how to throw my hands, I can use my brain and do that. And if you think about it, that's what I do.
So you think Frazier kind of was beaten mentally by Ali before they fought?
He was. He's still mad about it now.
Yeah, we had him in. He really is. Joe's not happy.
He really can hold a grudge.
Exactly. But see, and that's a good thing, but that's what made Joe. You know what I'm saying? That's what made Joe. Joe wasn't supposed to be Muhammad Ali. He was supposed to be Joe. And that's a guy who holds a grudge for life. And that's what kept him coming so much at everybody. So that's a beautiful thing too. But my side of it was the other side. So, like, Bernard Hopkins probably holds a grudge with me still, but my side is the other side. You can hold all the grudge you want, you still can't beat me.
If Joe would have, not been held such a grudge, it could have been the Joe Frazier grill, and he would have been the guy making all the money. But didn't happen that way.
It's amazing how a guy like Foreman, who is this feared guy and this just terrifying figure, goes through his thing after he loses and comes out this friendly, fun guy.
Well, think about it. Well, honestly speaking, people don't like to hear it, but it's the truth. It's what the power of God can do. Because he went and found God and came back and made more money than he ever dreamed of making when he was this fearsome guy that everybody was afraid of.
Did you find him inspirational? Because you're a guy, I mean, you've been fighting since '89 professionally. You have a long career, and it's rare that fighters go 21 years and are still really viable fighters.
Amazing.
And when he fought Holyfield, I mean, that was like, he said, for anybody in their 40s, this is a victory.
Man, he totally amazed me, totally made me realize that just because they say you old don't mean you're old. Only God can make that call, and Foreman was one of my first, or really my second examples of that.
So what motivates, I mean, you want to win a fight, but you're a very quiet, nice guy, and everybody who's met you that I've spoken to has said, oh, he's the nicest guy. But when you get in the ring, what motivates you to taunt the opponents? And I like that, because is it to show for the people, or is it to make them so angry they make mistakes?
Well, it's both. It's strictly, you hit the nail on the head. It's a show for the people, first of all, because people pay to watch me fight. And I don't want to just watch a boxing match. I want them to see Roy. I want them to see something that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. Secondly, though, it's also to make the guy try to kill you, and when they try to kill you, they make mistakes.
Kind of like the Rumble, the fight in Zaire when Ali was taunting. He was taunting Foreman, which is common knowledge now. He should give shit beat out of him. That doesn't hurt. That's all you got. Which really is a brave strategy.
Very brave, really, but a caution in the long run.
It did work out for him, but to allow Foreman to hit you, to say that I'm going to let Foreman just punch me until he's tired.
George Foreman, I mean, wow.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, you got to think about George. George is a guy, like I said, that had God on him all his life and didn't know it. Anytime back in those days, you can start amateur boxing in 1 year and make it to the Olympics, and not only just make it to the Olympics, win a gold medal in 1 year. That was unheard of back then.
Sure.
Nowadays, it's accepted because not as many people are in boxing. Boxing, the skill level has dropped. That's why people like myself and Bernard Hopkins can still stay around and dominate the division, because the skill level has dropped a little bit, so we can make it last longer, stretch our careers a little longer. But back then, oh no.
Why do you think the skill level has dropped a little bit?
Because so many people are into so many other things now. You got the MMA now. That is a whole different animal. You see guys in MMA that have wrestling backgrounds, karate backgrounds, all type of different backgrounds, and they can come in a couple of years and become a great MMA fighter. A boxer, if he didn't start when he was a little kid and stay in it, he ain't gonna make it. Yeah,
boxing seems to me, because MMA is a very fierce sport.
And I love it.
Yeah, I do too.
Don't get me wrong, I love it.
Didn't you want to be involved in that in some way?
I did. I did a fight where I did a boxing show and an MMA show, because I feel like any man that's got the galls to go out and face another man one-on-one, I don't care what kind of sport it is, I love you for that.
So you wanted to fight, who'd you want to fight? You wanted to fight Silva?
No, he wanted to fight me in a boxing match. And we still talking about that. I think he still wants to fight me in a boxing match.
You would kill him.
Well, he don't believe so.
Yeah,
So we have to
yeah.
see. But he's a great MMA fighter. He actually, when I watch him fight, he also inspires me because he goes out and uses what I do in regular boxing. He does it in MMA. And he makes his fans have a truly entertaining night. They don't just see a fight. They get to be entertained.
But it's also, you can't just take an MMA guy and put boxing gloves on him and say, now you just got to adhere to all the boxing rules, just like you can't take a boxer, throw him in an MMA ring, and expect him to perform and win. It's two different, you're talking about two different things.
You are, but he does have a boxing background.
He does, yeah?
Okay, yeah. He's had some boxing matches, so he
you
knows
would
what
still
he's
kill
doing.
him.
I'm gonna beat him, man. But he's a lot.
You would still kill him.
But he's also a lot bigger than me, so it would be, he'd have his advantages too. But I think I beat him. But we'll have to see.
I want to go back to Foreman for a second. Do you think he's one of the greatest ever heavyweights?
Yes, I do, and I'm gonna say that because the reason I say one of the greatest ever is because, first of all, the first miracle, I always relate to him as a modern day Samson. The first miracle is back in those days. I don't care what you tell nobody. I was an amateur boxer. Even in my time, nobody boxed for 1 year and made it to the Olympics. It wasn't happening. Let alone win a gold medal. You weren't gonna make it. You weren't gonna make it to the National Golden Gloves boxing 1 year. I can't think of nobody in my time when I was an amateur that started boxing for 1 year and made it to a national tournament in their first year. I can't think of nobody that I know.
That's amazing.
Let alone win the national tournament and win the Olympics in 1 year.
Wow.
So, I mean, you can't take that away from him. He wasn't blessed with the skill level that myself or Muhammad Ali or Sugar Robinson or somebody like that had, or Sugar Leonard. But he still was a phenomenon. Look at him. And then at 40-something years old, come back and regain the heavyweight championship of the world.
Well, you're trying to figure out how old he was. 40?
I think it was 44. I'm not sure.
44-ish?
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah, that's
44.
about right, huh? And greatest heavyweight of all time in your eyes? Because we argue this all the time.
The greatest heavyweight of all time has to be Muhammad Ali, because not only for what he did inside the ring,
what he did outside,
but also what he did outside the ring. And still right now, although he's in the situation he's in, he's still been nothing but a protocol type of a humanitarian.
It's so tough to look at him, man. It's so tough to see him on TV.
But his heart is still there.
Yeah, I understand. He's all there. He just can't communicate.
His heart is still there.
It's brutal when you see those old clips of Ali doing his thing, and now what he's become. It's heartbreaking.
Well, you got to remember though, we all go through situations, and God understands the situation better than we ever will. So, I mean, that's just part of what it is.
Yeah. So Foreman, he was a guy from Houston, and he was he was on his way. He was in gangs, and he was a tough dude. And there was another fighter that said Foreman used to take his money. I forget what fighter was in Houston that he said Foreman used to beat the shit out of it, and it would like bully him. And then he becomes a heavyweight champion. And Bernard Hopkins did time in jail, and Tyson. A lot of fighters, because it's a brutal sport, start off, and it could go either way. And Sonny Liston, were you ever in a position where? Were you at a crossroads, or did you always kind of live a straight and narrow life, or was there a time when you were very young where it could have went either way?
No, I always was on the straight and narrow. I had a type of family that wasn't going to allow me to be on that borderline. So, like I said, I started because I just loved aggravating people. That was my goal. My goal in life was to wake up and see how many people I could aggravate today before I go back to sleep.
So if you're not hitting somebody, you enjoy just shit-talking your friends? And
all day long. That's all I do all day.
I love it.
The constant joker. That's all I do.
Is that one of your favorite parts of fighting? Is actually the whole lead up to it?
That too. Yep. Just like right now, I'm so happy because I know Bernard mad and he want to get this win back. But like I told him, it's like taking an ASCAP test. To graduate from high school, you failed it back then, you're going to fail it again now.
Do you think he still holds a resentment from '93?
I know he does, and I love it.
Why has it been 17? It's been 17 years. These guys fought. Roy won a 12-round decision in '93. Why has it been 17 years for the rematch?
Just situational. I mean, he had to come to be somebody of power, and the way he did that was what I told him, and he won't ever give me credit for that. This is what else he's mad about. I told him back in about '98. He kept talking to me about a fight. I said, look, man, it doesn't make sense for us to fight right now. It's not big enough. I said, go down and beat up on some of the smaller guys. You can make the weight to beat them. Then come back and it's a big fight. So he goes and beats Tito. Then he goes and beats Oscar. I said, now it's time for we can make it a good fight. But then he won't fight me then. Now he says, nah, you wouldn't fight me when I was down. So wait a minute. I was the one who told you how to go get up to make the fight bigger. Now the fight's bigger. Nah, I'm not going to fight you now. You don't want to give me a chance when I was down. No, I told you what to do to get up so that we can make the fight bigger. So he got mad at me about that, and that's why he wouldn't take the fight. Right? He can say what he want to say, but that's why he wouldn't take the fight up until now.
You think it was a pride thing? He didn't like...
It was definitely a pride thing. Plus, he don't want to take a chance of losing. He know ain't nobody out there got sense enough to beat him but me. Yeah. So, I mean, he didn't want to take that chance. Well, Jermaine Taylor did too, but not like I'm going to beat him.
He beat De La Hoya. He put him down with a body shot, which is really not hard. Not easy to do, to put a guy like De La Hoya down with a body shot.
All depends on now. I don't know. You can't really say it's not easy to do when a guy
Show Jimmy what a body shot that knocks somebody out.
He just made a move towards Jimmy.
Me and my girlfriend were talking about Roy last night. I was showing her clips on. I'm like, just look at what it's really different than watching every other fighter. And I even said to her, I'm like, I just wish you were a guy right now. Like,
you said that to her a lot.
She's really funny though. She actually said, "Why? So you could suck my dick?" I'm like, all right, point you. She's a funny girl, but just even she understood how entertaining it was to watch. You have to watch him fight because it really is a taunting like you've never seen another fighter taunt his opponent. I mean, literally. This one, who did you knock out where you took your hand, he put his hands behind his back and put his chin out and then just knocked the fucking guy out?
Glenn Kelly from Australia.
Humiliating. Humiliating.
That is humiliating.
I love all that stuff too, man.
Damn.
I love that showboating.
I do too.
Well, you got plenty of it coming April 3rd.
Yeah, no kidding. That's going to be a huge fight with Bernard Hopkins.
Bernard Hopkins
in Vegas.
It really is a grudge match, but it's been a long time in coming. And Bernard is, well, you're 41 or 42, and he's 45.
He's about 47 or 48 now. He's 45.
Oh, you think he's lying about his age? He white out on the birth certificate a little bit?
Birth certificate say 45. He about 49, 50. I don't know. He's an old guy though.
And then you catch any shit for the showboating? Do some traditionalists go like, I don't like that?
Always. That's why they try to hurry up and get me humiliated, try to get me thrown off the scene because they hate that I showboat and I play around someone. They did that to me in the Olympics. They said, "You're gonna get robbed." I said, "Well, too bad I had to get robbed," and that's what happened. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me because people remember me more than they remember the guys who won a gold medal that year because I got robbed.
Yeah.
You were undefeated. You were 34-0, I think, and then you had the fight with Griffin. It was 97, and he was down, and you hit him twice when he was down. Even though it's an older story, what motivated you in that moment? Were you just in the heat of the moment? Like there was
I'll tell you exactly what happened. To save you some problems.
Sure.
The referee said no standing 8 count. Obey my command. So if the man goes down, he has to say stop. Now, if the man would have went down on his back, I'd have accepted that and left. Because now on his back, he can't hit me. But the man dropped to one knee. If I turn to walk away and the referee and say nothing, and he come and hit me and knock me out, they're going to count me out. So I can't leave until the referee either say stop or he go down to his back. I'm not turning my back on a guy that's in a position to take advantage of me. No. You understand me? So if I had to do it all over again, unless that referee said stop, which he did not say that time, I'd do the same thing. And I didn't hit the dude hard on either shot. The second fight I said, I'm going to show y'all what happens when I hit him hard. And you saw what happened.
It wasn't pretty.
That's right. You saw what happened when I hit him hard. You saw him running all across the ring, taking face dives, get up, take another face dive. You didn't see him look around, look up, and then lay down on his face. That's not what happens when you get knocked out. You don't have a chance to look at your corner, look up at the referee, then fall out.
Yeah.
Knockouts don't give you a chance to do that. You go out.
Roy, Roy was a champion, and it was I think the 9th round, and the guy went down, and he was disqualified because they said the guy was down and Roy hit him twice. So it was his first professional loss, and you lost the title. And then they fought again, and in that first round, it was ugly. It was.
You got it back in one round.
Well, I just showed him.
I
told him I was going to show you what would happen if I hit him for real. Because when he failed on the first time, I didn't hit him hard.
Sure.
He just took advantage of a situation. Well, when you had guys like Vinny Pazenza, who hit Dana Rosenblatt while he was down, not only did he hit Dana Rosenblatt, he hit the referee. They didn't disqualify him. Riddick Bowe hit a guy, I think Jesse Ferguson won when he was down. And they didn't disqualify Riddick Bowe, but they disqualified me. Why? What makes me such a bad guy? Because I showboat? Probably.
You think that might have hurt you? Like the referee might have just...
It don't hurt me. It just makes me a better person. No, nothing they do can hurt me. I take the George Foreman, Don King approach. Ain't nothing they can do can hurt me. When you got God for you, all the rest of it don't matter.
Well, do you like Don King?
I love Don King.
You do?
We've had him on the show a few times over the years. He's
one of my favorite people in the world. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He's tough to keep up with,
He's become one of my favorite people in the world because once you understand him, then you understand a lot more about his whole situation.
Well, a lot of fighters have a problem with him, though, right?
They have a problem, but that's a problem they bring upon themselves. You know, you got to know what you're signing when you sign it. And I mean, if you catch a person, like they said, a rich man, a poor man would always have to work for a rich man. If he catch you in a bad situation, then that's what you in. And if you sign the paperwork when you're in a bad situation, that's what you in. Don't get mad at him about it.
Doesn't he get sued a lot and always win? He seems to win.
That's why he wins, because he ain't really doing as much to him as they say. Now, he's not the best, but, I mean, I wouldn't say he's not the best. He is the best, but he's the best at understanding the situation. Other people don't look at the whole situation first. He does.
So they may be signing contracts that aren't really great for them.
That's what's happening.
But they should have a manager look at that.
And when they look at it, then they want to change it. And it's like, wait a minute. When you was down, you weren't talking like this. So why you talking like this now? And that's kind of what happened to most of them.
Well, he said that. We asked him about that, about stealing from fighters, and he goes, well, I'm the one that made him rich. How can they say it's like I would hate to argue with him. He really has a way out of everything.
Well, let me tell you something now. And to his defense, like I said, he does something wrong to some guys, I think, at times, in my eyes. I've seen a couple guys that got a raw deal, but for the most part, he's right. He does make them rich because he got Tyson $100 million before Tyson ever touched a boxing ring when he got out of prison.
Wow.
How many people can say they did that before you ever put foot in a boxing ring? He got you $100 million weight.
Wow. And you think some of Mike's trouble was probably Mike. You know, again, he's kind of a reckless guy at times.
Mike's a great guy, but I think the people he had around him kind of hurt him.
Yeah, it seemed like after when Customato died, and then him and Kevin Rudy had a fallout. It seems like then he kind of lost his way. Some people probably took advantage of him.
Well, you got to look at this like this. It's like a bulldog. A bulldog is a law dog. Whoever raised him, spend time, that's who he knows. When you put him with other people, he start acting strange because he don't feel the same. Same with Mike. Mike knew Customato. When Cuts died, wasn't nobody else that he trusted like that.
Did you see the documentary? You saw the documentary? Mm-hmm. It was great, right?
It was very good.
I loved it. I had no idea Tyson was so intelligent.
Tyson is very smart.
Yeah, but we didn't know that.
Nobody.
I mean,
knows
you got to know that because you're in the.
They don't take the chance to get to know him.
Right,
you
of
get
course.
To know him. If you ever talk to him, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, we just saw him. You know, he was an animal to us.
If you talk to him, you'd be totally amazed.
Yeah.
But what happens is, the animal part of it is what the public, what the media took to bring out.
Of course,
because that's what looks best for. That's what sells.
Yeah, of course. We yell and scream about the media all the time and how they fucking skew things, you know. But that was a great film because you did get to see the real Tyson.
Yeah, and Tyson's a very intelligent,
very vulnerable too. Yeah, you had no idea.
That's how they take advantage of him.
He was pretty much crying in that movie,
exactly,
or on the verge of tears the entire movie.
Yeah, he did cry when he talked about Cuss. He got really choked up.
That's like
and he convinced me of his innocence because you know, look, I always think, look, I know guys do things with women. He convinced me of his innocence with Desiree Washington. When he's like, that wretched bitch, I'm like, that's how a guy talks when he's innocent. Like, that's what an innocent man says.
And you got to do time for it, too. Of course, you got to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Be a bit bitter, right?
My thing off top was, though, and I got to say this as a grown man, when you look at Mike Tyson and look at Mike Tyson's size, what young lady is going to go to a room with Mike Tyson by herself with the intentions of not doing what he say at 12 o'clock in the morning?
We've always thought
2 o'clock
that,
in the morning. I mean, that was always my defense. My defense was y'all taking advantage of him because of his situation.
Right.
But who goes to his room at that time of night and not looking for trouble?
Sure.
I personally think, now that after hearing him talk more about it, I personally think that he went up with her, fooled around with her, and he was probably mean to her after and said, beat it, and she was mean and vindictive, and that's my take on it.
Yeah, but see, that don't save him from doing the time.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, a lot of people enjoying the interview. We're talking to Roy Jones Jr., and someone just wrote, I think the scariest thing about this guy is his soft voice.
It really is, because Roy is a soft-spoken guy and a nice guy.
Yes, but you just know.
That's not the guy.
That's never good, right?
That Hopkins is facing.
Yeah, you're not in the ring talking all soft to him.
Your left hook is your bread and butter, I guess.
I don't know. It's usually my bread and butter because my right hand is hurt, but once my right hand is okay, I can't tell you that's my bread and butter because I don't know. They both seem to be kind of the steak. I mean, I don't know. So
your speed, though, you punch like a much smaller guy. Like you really do have a phenomenal speed.
Yeah, it's very different, very unorthodox at that. But that's what I told Bernard Hopkins in the first fight. You know, I went to his face. I said, hey, if you can deal with my speed, maybe you can beat me. But if you can't deal with the speed, you got a problem in your hand.
Hey, being an older boxer, is it tougher to get ready for these fights?
Well, it's tougher to make yourself go get ready. Once I get started, it's easy for me then because I'm used to it and I love it. Yeah. I love preparation. But
the age hasn't really affected you that much?
It hasn't affected me that much, not at all.
Have you the last fight you fought, it was a loss to Australia, Danny Green in Australia. And it was a first-round knockout, and you have taken up issue with that. What happened in that fight, and what's the issue with that?
First thing is they let him wrap his hands illegally, which I wasn't totally aware of. I knew something was wrong, and I knew it had to do with the wraps, but they didn't tell me exactly what was wrong because I guess they didn't want to make me upset too. But they had 18,000 fans out there waiting. My side, the guy who we sent to watch him rap, said that clearly that he had his hands totally wrapped illegal. He needs to unwrap them. So when I sent my lawyer and my manager over there to make him unwrap and rewrap them, they tell him, no, y'all can't get in. Luckily, the guy saved the box that had the adhesive on the gauze that he wrapped with, which is one of the things he used that was illegal. You are not allowed to wrap with no gauze out of a box in a boxing match. especially with an adhesive substance on it because it stretches, it hardens like a cast. They let him do all this. He wrapped 2 hours early. Why would you wrap your hands 2 hours early unless you're building a cast? So after all this, my people go over to do something about it. They said no, and if Roy don't come out, we're going to disqualify him. How you going to knock? How would I have gotten out of Australia if I don't come out the locker room?
So you wrap your hands in a traditional
gauze, and you use 2.5-inch tape, and you're not allowed to tape the knuckles.
Oh, you're not?
No, you can go between the fingers. He had both sides of the knuckles taped on both of them. I mean, if you go on the internet, it's a little thing now. So he had way much more gauze than he's supposed to have on. He basically had a cast. Although he hit me behind the head with a cast, and it did knock me down, but I wasn't out. I got up, I got my bearings back, and he was basically worn out from trying to knock me out and couldn't. With a cast on, he couldn't knock me out.
He's toting around that cast on his
hand. He was trying his best. He was holding my head, hit me with everything, and he couldn't knock me out. So he's dead tired. And now I know he's tired. Then the referee stopped the fight. I said, what you stopping the fight for now? I'm okay now. If you're going to stop, you should have stopped when I first went down. I'm fine now. I don't need you to stop it now. I'm good. And, well, I was like, you're in Australia. They already told me, if I didn't come out, they were going to disqualify me. So I was already fighting a losing battle. Lucky for me, though, I did get a rematch clause because I was smart and I knew something like this may happen. So I made him sign a rematch clause anyway. Now, next time he had to come to the United States and fight me, or I wrap my hand with the same cast, and I don't mind.
So you haven't fought him yet?
No, I fought him that once. We're going to fight again.
No, I know. The rematch hasn't happened yet. Okay.
That was Roy's last fight. And
oh, you said that. I'm sorry.
That's right. It was because Roy goes down, but when he gets back up, the guy is still pounding him, but you were protecting yourself. Your hands were up.
Perfectly fine. I don't know what the referee stopped the fight for.
Yeah, he seemed to be just hitting arms
that's all
and
he
gloves.
He was so frustrated, he grabbed me behind my head and tried to hit me.
And it's that obvious that you're being hit by a cast situation?
Most definitely. Once it happens, it comes like, how the hell a punch like that gonna knock me down?
Wow.
I take a much better punch than that. Then I realized something had to be going on.
Wow.
Well, after the fact, in the ring the whole time, he never would take his gloves off.
Huh.
That also prompted me to figure something was wrong. Then when I got in the back, my sparring partner who went over to watch him rap told me all the things that he had. Matter of fact, he had it wrote down. Everything. It was five illegal things he had used with his rapping.
I don't get that. Why isn't there like a ref in there as they're rapping?
It is, and this is what happened. This is what happened when you go to different places. Down there, they told me, we don't care what y'all say. He's not re-wrapping his hands. What you gonna do in Australia? They know if I don't come out and fight, and these people paid to see me fight, they know what's going to happen.
Yeah, of course.
So they know
you're in a no-win situation.
Exactly. They know this.
You have to get out there.
They know this. Yeah. So they put me in a bad situation, but that's why I had a rematch.
That shit still happens.
Yes, it still happens. Right now.
Sounds like old school crap.
Just happened. Matter of fact, like I said, you can go on the internet and check it out yourself. You'll see it.
Mm-hmm. There's a documentary on about a fighter. Mm-hmm. There was a big story about it years ago where took
the patent out of the club. They said Panama Lewis did. He said he didn't do it.
Panama Lewis, right?
But the guy got killed, and the guy that killed him had to end up serving time. And here's me. Antonio Margarita did the same thing with the raps to Miguel Cotto. Well, Miguel Cotto, I thought would have had a good chance of beating Manny Pacquiao had he not took that beating with that cast from Margarita. After Margarita couldn't wrap his hand like that against Shane Mosley beat him easy. But Cotto beat Shane Mosley easily. So that tells you that the cast does have an effect on the way the outcome of things.
Course.
You know what I mean? So
why don't they have one guy that wraps both of you guys' hands?
Because everybody had their own ways of liking to get them wrapped. But as long as it's the legal way, but they're supposed to have sanctioned body. People supposed to be they have a sanctioned body in every state that's supposed to be able to watch that and make sure they wrap them legally.
So who was the fighter that it happened to? Because
I forgot his name. I'm not good on names.
Yeah, he was.
I remember, but I forgot his name. I saw it, as a matter of fact. I watched the documentary several times.
Yeah, the documentary. He fights this fighter, and he damages his eye very badly, I think. And the guy can never fight again. And
the guy died.
Yeah, he killed in a drunk driving accident. Actually, he was drunk driving into a ditch, and the guy's father, I think, wanted to sue, and maybe didn't want him fighting again.
I think Chris Webber's a fan of yours, Roy.
Oh, is that Chris Webber?
Yeah, Chris Webber just walked by the studio.
Yeah, tell C-Web I say what's up.
You know him?
Yeah, I know C-Web.
You try to get him on the show to say hi. It looked like you wanted to come in and just say hi to you real fast.
You should have came in.
That's, wow. Chris Webber is a rock star, man.
Yeah, so he was looking in. I knew he didn't recognize me.
Tall gentleman.
Yeah.
It really does take your ego away when you're sitting next to Roy and somebody looks in.
C-Web, what's up, big homie?
What's up, baby? How you doing?
Chris Webber.
Respect, man.
Hey,
good seeing you,
man.
What's up, Chris?
Hi.
Huge fan, by the way. I saw. I saw you walk by, and I'm like, I think he's a fan of Roy Jones Jr. because you were looking in here.
I'm a fan of his.
Of course, I'm a fan of Roy Jones. How could you not be?
Yeah, right.
I'm a fan of his.
Hell yeah!
I love watching Sewell.
Absolutely.
Still check him out on TNT 9.
That's what's up,
Doing
man.
it this. I like that too, brother.
Have you ever made the mistake of like tangling with a guy Roy's size, thinking that he'd be an easy mark, and not realizing it was a guy like Roy?
No, I'm from Detroit, and so in Detroit, you got to watch out for guys, whoever they are, short, tall. I respect men, so when they put their hands up, you never know. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. So it'll be funny. I'm somewhere and want to fight. Roy don't know you're a boxer, and he just hit you with a real quick. I try to grab him and wrestle him or something like that. No, I'm not a fool.
He's got a big fight with Bernard Hopkins coming up in April. So
I'm really excited about that.
Talking about the boxing game, it's such an interesting sport.
Yeah, have you ever fought, or you always just played ball?
Well, you know what? I actually got a chance to train with Mayweather's uncle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for maybe 10 rounds, and I respect what y'all do, man.
Hey, man, it's something else.
Oh, man.
It's
I
something
never knew that 3 minutes was
so long.
Could be that long. Right.
I thought it was going to be a 6-month thing. He's like, for 10 rounds, one afternoon.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, cool, this time I get abs. All right, I see you later. I can do this on my own, because it was just, it was tough.
Ain't having it.
Yeah. Well, Ron, you going to knock him out in, man?
Probably about the 8th.
8th?
Yeah, I don't see him going past 8.
Damn. Hey. How you gonna do a combo? Or just,
no, I'm a one puncher. I got a combination for him already. I used it the last fight on him, but my hand was hurt, so I couldn't get him all the way. But I knew to get him this time.
Okay, what color Jordans you rocking?
Probably gonna be black again.
Black again.
Yeah, probably gonna go black on black. I'm gonna be the Terminator. I'm gonna terminate his career.
Yeah. What music you coming into?
I think me and Snoop gonna handle that.
Fight, baby.
I think me and Snoop gonna handle that.
That's good,
Steve's pointing that he's gotta go.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to come and say I'm a big fan, and I saw that you were looking at Roy
Jones, baby.
Appreciate you stopping by, baby. Good to see you.
Look at that, Chris Webber in studio.
Keep doing that on
Thank you,
TNT
Chris.
too, man.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Sorry to drag you away from what you were doing.
There goes Jimmy getting the photo. Jimmy loves the photos.
Of course. So you work on...
Roy Jones.
And can I point out what weasels we are? If Bernard Hopkins was here, we'd go, oh, you got a great shot. Roy has no chance against you.
Hell no, not me, Roy. Not me. That's Jimmy, man. Screw Bernard. I'm all about Roy Jones Jr. now. I'll say right to his face for you.
But it is right, though. Like
He's
that's
out of the room.
That's the amazing thing to me about a guy of that size. A guy like your size is much more dangerous. And a lot of guys probably underestimate a smaller guy.
Dude, they do. They totally underestimate a smaller guy.
And you work on a certain combination for each fighter?
No. It just all depends on what works. You know what I mean? You try to see what works, what happens. And, if it works, it works. But I knew one that worked on him before, and I know it'll work again. So, I'm just looking forward to it.
Why are we showing this fight? He doesn't
Can you show?
Exactly.
We're on YouTube. Can you?
He goes exactly.
That's Mars, by the way. If you want to hit him,
I don't mind.
Any mechanical problems, he's responsible for. Can you find the fight? The second fight. What the guy's name is? Montel Griffin.
Yeah.
Fight 2. He hits him so fucking hard that that's where the ropes held him up.
Yeah, they hit him up. They didn't hold him up. No, he went straight down.
And the ref called it a knockdown because the only thing that didn't keep his ass from hitting the canvas was when he bounced off.
The first time, He didn't call it a knockdown. You're right. That's this one when I first came out. Me looking for trouble.
Yeah, this is the guy who had him disqualified the first one. It's just an ugly fight.
Right. And I told you he's going to refight that last round. So that was right. That's a good shot. And that hurt him. The very first punch hurt him.
Yeah, he's hurt already.
He's hurt already. And I knew it because he can't take a punch to me with my punch. Boom, there's one that sent it.
Yeah, right into...
Already.
Yeah, that was a nice left. Sent them right into
already
the
separating you guys.
We call it knockdown.
If there was no ring, he'd have gone backwards out the door.
Yeah, he would have fallen back into his car and just headed home.
20 seconds of the fight, you knocked him down.
It's very apparent that
oh my God, you're destroying him.
Yeah, this is a very humiliating knockout.
Yeah, I didn't have time to play with him. I had messed with him the first time. I wasn't giving him a chance this time.
for many rounds in the first
Yeah, you know you got to dispense of this guy pretty quickly.
Exactly. It's going to get this over with. I said, I know you can't take my punch. All the talking you did. I know you can't pop and take my punch. Then we're going to get this over with right now.
But did he really talk after the fight?
Yes, he did. Big time. Big time. Big time.
Wow.
Which basically just motivated you to come in.
That's all. Made me come on and show him right now who's in charge. Because I know he quit the first time. You can't quit on me and talk noise like you can beat me.
You
quit
weren't
the
letting
first
him
fight.
get a decent punch in without countering him. Him right in the face.
That left is just hanging down and waiting for his face.
I got him thinking I'm trying to kill him, which I was.
But you seem to be comfortable letting your guard down, which really is a lack of respect for the other fighter, which has got to drive them nuts.
Which I really don't need to care about a punch unless I know you got a cast on. I've learned that. But if you ain't got no cast, I don't care about no punch. This knockout is coming in. Yeah, it's very close right here. As a matter of fact, I gave him a feint. Watch this. Throw a hook at him. Throw a hook at him right there. Feint at him. Throw another one at him. Set him up for it. Watch this good now. There was another hook at him.
Talking about your left hook.
Yeah, the hook got him scared.
Yep.
Extremely cautious now.
Hook at him. Hook right hand. Another hook at him. That hook hurt him a little bit. I said, yeah, I'm liking this. So I said, I got him now. So I feint him for a hook there.
Counter opportunities, but still very much on the defensive.
Feint him for a hook again.
He's protecting him against the hook.
Now I got what I want. I saw that one. He just tried to duck one. I said, okay, now I got him. He tried to duck it. Come out. Duck that.
Good night.
That's what happens when you get knocked out.
Look at his face.
Yeah. You got a chance to get up and look at people and fall down. That's what happens. That's what happens when you get knocked out.
Watch him try to get up.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't get up.
Yeah, see, this is what happens.
He's falling across the ring.
He tried to get up like 4 times and fell on his face.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get hit with a punch for real. So they said the first time, and I tried to explain to him, the first time I didn't really hit him hard. He wouldn't have had a chance to look at the referee, look at his corner, then go down. That's what would have happened right there.
That's a knockout.
It's hard to marry the image of this nice man with that guy. I mean, it really is deceptive. That's the guy that you're dealing with in the ring. Right before a fight, what is it going through your head before you walk in the ring, and what are you doing to focus yourself?
Well, you got to remember, what's going through my head is, okay, let's go out here, have a great time while this guy trying to kill you. Let's try to convince him that he really needs to kill you, and let's just take advantage of that.
So you like to get him upset, and the angrier they are, the more likely they are to make a mistake.
You're exactly right.
Who would you say has hit you the hardest in your career?
A guy named Eddie Evans from Atlanta, Georgia, actually hit me harder than anybody ever has.
Did he knock you down?
No, he just hit me with a real hard punch. And after that punch, I stopped him in the next round, but I was still mad because I don't feel like I hit him enough to make up for that one punch he hit me with.
Did he know he hurt you as badly as he did?
It didn't hurt. It just hurt. It hurt painfully. Hurt. Not like a hurt like buckle knees. It was a painful punch. When he hit me, I was like, wow.
That hurt.
This dude can punch. So now I'm finna kill him. And then he quit on me too quick. I was like, no, you can't quit yet. Don't y'all let him quit.
I haven't killed you
I ain't
yet.
got my lick back yet. Let me don't let him quit. I hit him, but that ain't hard enough.
This is something I would like to know. What are you thinking when you get knocked out, especially after all those victories? Like the first time you actually get knocked out, do you know it's happening as it's happening, or like when you wake up, you're like, what happened?
You know it. Like the first time I knew it, I was like, wow. I guess my body couldn't take it no more because I went to heavyweight, then I lost 25 pounds and came back down to light heavyweight. I won one on the skin of my breath because I was just all game, all heart, didn't have no energy. I came back and refought that one, and that's when I got knocked out the first time. And
was that Tarver?
Yeah, I got knocked down. I got up, but I was pretty much done. I couldn't recover. I felt my body. I couldn't come back from it. Then the second fight when I fought Johnson, he knocked me out completely. But I was dehydrated, but that was a complete knockout. And I was like, wow. How do I keep getting knocked out like this? And that was really the only time I got knocked out. Then, like I said, with the green shot, was a shot behind the head, which I expected. You got to expect that if a guy hit you behind the head with a bat or a cast, that's liable to happen. But I got up from that too, and I recovered. I was like, okay, as long as I get up, I'm good. So I don't mind getting knocked down and getting up. A lot of fighters go through that. But the knockout one, I think that was highly because I was dehydrated, but that was the one that bothered me the most.
Is it embarrassing? I know it sounds like an odd question, but is it an embarrassing feeling? It's like slipping in front of people, or do you wake up and just realize all these people have just seen me really be defeated?
They just saw you get knocked out. You just got caught hit with a hell of a punch. I mean, as many of them as you done knocked out, now your turn came.
It sucks, right?
Yeah, it's not good, but hey, that's a possibility when you walk out there.
Hey, we only have a few more minutes left, and everyone wants to say hi to Roy.
Oh, okay.
Let's not forget the big fight, Roy Jones Jr. and Bernard Hopkins, the rematch, April 3rd at the Mandalay Bay Center in Las Vegas. Let's say hi to Jeff in Rochester. Jeff, say hi to Roy Jones Jr.
What's up, Jeff?
Hey, how you doing, Roy? I just want to know, how many of those chicken names can you come up with off the top of your head right now?
What you mean chicken names?
Yeah, I used to ref your basketball league down in Pensacola.
Right.
You had those chickens and you had names for them.
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of them. I forgot most of them because I got rid of most of them. But you're right, I had a lot of names for them.
You had a chicken farm or something,
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
And you would name the chickens?
My favorite one name was Dog, though. He acted like a dog, and he was a rooster, and he used to follow me around and just jump up on my arm. He was the coolest one I ever had.
I thought roosters were awful and you couldn't go near them. I thought they were very, very violent.
That's not true. They say they paint a bad picture of them just because of the fighting situation. They paint a really bad picture, but they're not that bad. They're very nice and intelligent animals.
Oh, kind of like pit bulls. If you raise them a certain way, they're not.
Depending on how you raise them.
Okay.
Yeah, let's say hi to Jerry in Indiana. Jerry.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hi.
Hey, Roy, I just wanted to say thank you. You got me laid one night.
What happened? You took the money you won from the fight and got a hooker?
He's like, exactly. Yeah.
Well, we'll tell the story.
How'd you get you laid?
I was sitting in a bar and I was watching Roy fight, and I'm a big fan. And this gal was sitting next to me, and she asked me if I was a fan, and I said, yeah. Cause she goes, well, you and I are the only fans in here that like Roy. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, he's going to kick that guy's ass. And she said, that's right. And then next thing you know, we're in her hotel room, and I'm getting laid, and I just wanted to say thanks.
Hey, no problem. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, you get the chance. And one more, because we got to get Roy out of here. Rod in Kansas. What's up, Rod?
Hey, morning, guys. Hey, Roy, big fan. Just real quick, I was going to see if you could talk about that, about the one fight where you actually take I believe it's your left hand, cock your right forearm like a shotgun, and knock this dude smooth in the next Sunday.
Yeah, man, I do all those type of things. That probably was Richard Hall. I really enjoy entertaining my fans. You know, I'm a hunter. I do it all. I do a lot of things, and it's like all the things I do in life, I try to take and bring them to the boxing ring and use them to entertain my people. And that's why I was so much difference in my career and a lot of other fighters, including Bernard Hopkins, because nothing against tennis, but watching Bernard Hopkins fight is like watching a tennis match, a normal tennis match, and watching me fight is like a rodeo. You know what I mean? Anything live happen when I fight, but when he fighting, the ball's just gonna go back and forth across from there. There ain't gonna be nothing exciting. I mean, so, and he hates me for that, but that's not my fault, so I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's got to be awful to get taunted and then get knocked out. Like, if a guy taunts you and then you knock him out.
And then you're just like, yeah, you talk, but you couldn't fucking deliver. And
there's one fight you have where the guy is trying to do what Roy does.
James Tony
puts his arms out like that.
Oh, Vinny Pazienza.
Oh, was that Vinny Pazienza?
Yeah,
he puts his arms out almost like a crucifix, and then Roy puts his arms out, and they're just kind of posturing, and you kind of dance into him and knock him out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Pazienza.
Your highlight reel is as good as anybody on YouTube.
These punches are devastating.
Oh, that guy just swung at air. Made him swing at air there. Right?
I want to see the one that they show. I was just like watching boxing.
That's him right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was the guy
on
right
YouTube.
There.
Top highlight video. Roy Jones Jr.
It's just Roy Jones Jr. punches that are devastating.
You got to see the one with the hands behind the back. That is the most humiliating thing.
Yeah, but
fast hands. Jesus.
Like I said, my thing was I thank God for blessing me with the opportunity and with the ability to be able to deliver these type of highlights to people, because no other boxer has as good of highlights as these are on YouTube or nowhere else. I got the best highlight reel of all time, I guarantee you.
Yeah, it really is amazing.
It's only by the grace of God that I was able to do it, and I don't even understand how I did a lot of it or why I did a lot of it, but I know I was just a crazy guy that loved entertaining people, and come April 3rd, my job is to go out there and give you the same entertainment against a guy who's supposed to be top-notch. As a matter of fact, the best light heavyweight out there right now. I'm gonna give you the same show against him.
You have kids. Would you recommend your kids get into boxing? Or you try to steer them in the other direction?
No, they got too big of a pair of shoes to fill if they go into boxing. I'd rather them go somewhere else. Let's show some versatility here.
Right.
Let's use the DNA to go show some other aspects in life. Let's show them that the DNA ain't just in one place. It's great DNA all over.
Well, you acted in Devil's Advocate.
Yep, and in The Matrix too.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
3 rap albums.
Captain Ballot.
Damn.
Yeah.
He's got to go. They're trying to drag him out of here.
I'm sorry. All right,
we could talk to you all day, Roy.
Hey,
obviously,
y'all,
Roy
man.
Jones Jr.
The great Roy Jones Jr.
Of course.
Thank y'all so much.
The fight April 3rd, Mandalay Bay, Bernard Hopkins. Finally a rematch after 17 years, and thanks so much, Roy. We're happy to have you.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, cool. Quick break.